In my last video, I talked about how I am trying to build wealth on a average salary in America, around $64,000. And after that video, I thought to myself, well, okay, I explained to everybody, how I'm doing it, how I'm budgeting my monthly paychecks, my yearly salary, my living situation, just overall how I am able to achieve my goal that I'm setting for myself. But I didn't really discuss, well, what am I actually investing in? And from those comments from the last video, I've noticed, maybe there are some newer people into the world of investing, or they may make more money than me, they may make a little less money. So I mean, in this video, I just wanted to open up my portfolio, not to tell you exactly, hey, you need to buy this, like this is what you need to buy, this is the amount you need to buy, this is the amount you need to have in your portfolio. But I really just want to cover exactly what I've chosen to invest in and why. So if you're interested in that, feel free to stay tuned. So section one, I kind of want to call, my investing philosophy. I'm not going to really start off with any ticker symbols, or for people who don't know, like what that specific stock, what you can search for in the market. I just wanted to give you an understanding of how I think, where I got to these investments, I guess you can say. I think the biggest thing that I like to stick with and what I recommend people to stick with is just like keep it simple, guys. Simplicity is king. With that, it is typically, I don't buy single stocks. With single stocks, they can fluctuate so much, like on a day-to-day basis. I'm not really in the business of day trading, and I think that's what a lot of people do with single stocks. They may buy early in the morning and they're just watching it all day. And if it goes up a couple dollars, or if it goes up 50 cents, depending on how many shares you have, they may dump them all. And that's the day trading. They're just watching the number go up and down all day. I feel like I would go absolutely insane, so I stay away from individual stocks for the most part. I do have some, but for good reason. So I usually stick to like low cost index funds. And what that is, it's usually just a group of stocks that specific to the tech sector or healthcare, medicine. In my case, I mostly just follow the Fidelity Total Market Index Fund, which I think is 2,000 to 3,000 different companies in this fund, or the Fidelity S&P 500 fund, where it just follows the most valuable top 500 companies in America. Those are the two main ones that I follow. Low cost index funds, they're cheap to buy into, they're cheap to maintain. There's really not much expenses on them. I think most are like 0.04 to 5% expenses on them, so not terrible. It's good for long term investing because over the last century and then some, probably the stock market has consistently gone up around 10% on a year-to-year basis. Obviously we have low years, we have bear markets, but consistently it has always gone up. So that's kind of a plus for keeping with the S&P 500 or the total market index fund, following the biggest companies. And then just overall consistency. If you continue to invest in these companies, sure, you're not going to get rich in the next 5-10 years unless you're investing $20,000 a month, which I don't think any of us can do that. If you can, then this probably isn't the channel for you. So kind of jumping into, section 2, I wanted to kind of show you on screen what I am currently investing in. So I use Fidelity for, my investment account. Another big one is Vanguard. I don't really know their ticker symbols for the different index funds they have. So, I mean, feel free to do your own research, like as always. And Charles Schwab is another big one. So I stick with Fidelity. I'll probably put on screen throughout this video, or at least this section, my main investments. Starting off, I have for section 2, I use Fidelity. I don't use Charles Schwab or Vanguard. They're both great picks. I've just used Fidelity because I had a previous company's 401k in there. So I just decided, hey, I already have this account open. I'll just continue to put money into, my different accounts, my different investment portfolios in Fidelity. So my main areas that I hold, the Fidelity Total Market Index Fund, which covers, I think, like I mentioned, like 2,000 to 3,000 companies. That ticker symbol is FSKAX. Like I said, I'll probably put little screenshots on there, just like with the ticker symbol. This I own that is a majority of my portfolio. I will cover the kind of what my portfolio is worth, or like overall my net worth, probably in another video. So if that interests you, definitely stay tuned for a future video. But following FSCAX is the Fidelity 500 Index Fund, which, like I said, just the top 500 companies in America. That is FXAIX. Another great opportunity. Just like I said, it follows the top 500 companies, or the S&P 500. I do have a couple individual stocks, and I'll probably provide those screenshots as well. I have CrowdStrike. I have what's called Rubrik. That is another software company around cybersecurity. I also have another ETF, if you want to call it, like another index fund. It's the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. So this one, I don't think it's nearly as popular as the Total Market Index Fund or the S&P 500 Index Fund, but this one is more specific to giving a bigger dividend. Like for example, this is probably my third ranked amount of index fund that I own in my total portfolio, and I would say it provides the biggest dividend on a quarterly basis. So do with that what you will. And then I I did buy some SpaceX. I know it's a mixed bag right now. I wasn't able to buy it pre-IPO, so I didn't get it at the cheaper price. I think I bought in at like 164 a share, and unfortunately, it's definitely taken a beating lately. I'm seeing right now it's closed today at least at around 135, so definitely down. But I mean, it's Elon, it's Tesla, it's SpaceX. Like I strongly believe that they are the biggest player in the game. They're going to get their shit together or fix some things that need fixing, and that stock's going to absolutely blow up in the future. That's my opinion. It may go completely to zero, but at the end of the day, I'm only out in a little bit of money. I see that is the biggest thing I want to kind of harp on. If you do decide to buy individual stocks, I would say gamble with what you're willing to lose. I mean, chances are if you buy Apple, Microsoft, a big tech company, a big medical company, they're probably not going to go belly under, and like you're going to lose all your money. But with single stocks, it's more volatile. It's not as solid or stable as if you're balancing 500 different companies compared to just that one company. So my little food for thought there. Like I said, I'll provide screenshots throughout this section of the video, just kind of showing you the ticker symbols of those different index funds and stocks that I do own. That kind of leads us into section 3, what I personally don't invest into or purposely don't invest into. Kind of a little lie here, I guess, because I do have some individual stocks, but that's the biggest thing. I try to avoid the meme stock, the meme coin, day trading, like I mentioned earlier, options, or chasing hot sectors, chasing new things. I try to keep it consistent. Tech is obviously growing. Tech has been around for a long time. It's really not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So that's a safe sector. The medical sector, the healthcare industry. Don't buy a meme coin. Don't buy the Hawk Tuah coin. I can't believe I have to say that in 2026, but seeing that girl, just pull a full 180 on everybody and just, do a rug pull and make that much money and people still follow her. That's crazy to me. I would never buy a stupid coin like that, or especially trust a random creator who's trying to sell me some junk. But, there's obviously some people out there like that and they still support her. So, hey, to each their own. I'll get off my soapbox. Easy enough, section 4. If I were starting over today, I think this is probably the strongest section in the video, or at least where like a lot of my newer guys can probably benefit. Knowing what I know now, would I dabble into individual stocks a little more or a little less? I would probably stay consistent to where I'm at now. Buy some individual stocks that I am knowledgeable about, or at least knowledgeable about the environment or the kind of like their business model. Like, for example, like I said, CrowdStrike, I'm in the cybersecurity industry. I'm familiar with their product. I've used the product. I know they're a big player in the space. So when that issue occurred, that made their stock dip, I knew I was fairly confident that the stock was going to come back up even more. So that's why I bought into it. Do I know much about, the construction industry, or all the new craze AI stocks coming out, that's doing all their weird niches? No, so I probably wouldn't go buying into like a new AI company just because I haven't done my research on it. No, I wouldn't change the fact that I bought some individual stocks, but if I were to buy more, I would definitely train myself or educate myself on that industry that I'm buying into to see, hey, does this make sense? Is this a good long-term investment? Would I simplify even more? No, I think I'm pretty, I think my portfolio is pretty simple at the high level. Like I said, a majority is index funds. Would I avoid certain stocks? I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much index funds, so would keep it pretty consistent, would keep it where I'm at now. I would say, if you take anything from this video, I would say this is probably the strongest section, or the most beneficial section. Just stick to index funds, guys, especially starting out. If you want to dabble in individual stocks, do it with caution. Like I said, educate yourself on that industry that company is in. Is it a growth industry? Is it going down? Is their product good? Where do they rank amongst competitors? Just keep all that in mind, especially if you're trying to dabble into individual stocks. I say that's my biggest piece of advice. That is it for me tonight, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you sticking with me throughout this one. And a little kind of disclaimer for my previous video. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. The support and just the absolute crazy shit that happened in my last video. Like, I thought it was a basic video, just like, hey, explaining, what I make on a year-to-year basis, and kind of how I break down my monthly payments, or my monthly, pay when it comes to paychecks. Holy crap, dude. Like, that is by far the most popular video on my channel. The year and a half I've been working on this channel so far, I think it got like 1.4 or 1.5K views, over 50 comments. Some obviously a little upset that I still live at home, but either way, I appreciate their engagement in the comment section. Watching my videos, sharing their input, sharing their experience, and then just a lot of other people who are like inspiring me, like, hey, to continue, like, hey, man, this is a great video. Like, I'm so glad you made this. Like, all the videos I see are people who are making $100,000, $200,000. Like, you're breaking down how the average Joe can, build wealth. Obviously slower, but they can still do it. Like I said, guys, just don't want to harp on it too much, but thank you so much for the support throughout these last months, this last video. Welcome to all the new people who subscribed. I think I gained almost 40 subscribers from last video, so that was fucking insane. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you again. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.